Residents of Trademoore Estate in Lugbe Abuja have faulted the Federal Capital Territory Authority for declaring the estate a disaster zone. They consider the declaration as totally out of order. Helen Osamede Akins has details.
The aftermath of flood that ravaged Trademoore Mega Estate in Lugbe Abuja last Friday. Life and properties worth millions of naira were swept away and many were displaced. Flooding has become an annual occurrence in the estates. Last year, many houses were marked for demolition after the former minister carried out an inspection after the floods. The demolition of houses were not completed and may have contributed to this year's flood. Emmanuel Ajoba is a survivor who managed to escape after the flood took over his residence. He has still not gathered the courage to return home and assess the damage caused by the flood in his property.
It didn't take up to like 3 minutes. The whole house, I'm not just talking about the compound, I'm talking about inside the house was filled with water. It was filled with water that it got to our waist and even slightly above our waist. That inside the house, our properties are all gone. Since on Friday, I've not been at home. As I'm talking to you, most of our clothes that were in the house, in fact, the clothes that we wore during that rainfall and that flood, I think those were the only things that we took out of the house.
Now an axe hangs over the heads of residents of Trademoore. On 27th of June, the Federal Capital Territory Authority took a tour of the estate and declared it a disaster zone.
He came in an entourage of about maybe 20 vehicles, and they all ran away when it started drizzling. So he didn't take his time to inspect the actual cause of the flood and the disaster we've been suffering here.
You're asking people to relocate. You don't know their plans. What of the people that maybe the water has caused damage for? Where did they start from?
They challenged the FCTA authority to step up to its responsibilities and find a lasting solution to the situation.
If we have up to 2 or 3 drainage in this estate as big as this one I'm standing on now, I guess it will help solve the problem.
The water is coming from Kabusa, Piakasa, Lokogoma, all those areas, right, need to be attended to by government.
Trademoore Estate is one of the biggest private-owned estates in the Federal Capital Territory with over 2,000 housing units. It is surrounded by over 40 other estates. Trademoore Estate is one of the estates in these axes. It is now declared a disaster zone. The question many are asking, are other estates in this area also declared disaster zone? What becomes the fate of thousands of residents in these estates? Helen Osamede Akins, TVC News, Abuja.
Let's now talk to the Director General, FCTA Emergency Management Agency, Abbas Idris, who joins us live on TVC News at 7. So some would say that some have linked this disaster to the failure of the Federal Capital Development Agency to pull down buildings they say have been earmarked for demolition and the inability to create enough water channels. What have you, noticed and discovered yourself?
Well, thank you very much for having me on this program. And I would like to shed more light. If we are to pull down all those properties marked for demolition for last year, what we have thought was that we have to pull down all the buildings in that estate. That is over almost 2,000 houses in the estate. And that is the only solution to the problem, because the entire estate is sitting on the waterway. Contrary to the feelings of some of the residents that maybe the water is coming from somewhere and it's just targeting the Trademoore estate, or when it is pulled down, what about other estates? Do we have problems with the other estate? The other estate, we have never had problem, but every year we have problem with the Trademoore because it's still right on the waterway, and they are not supposed to build on the waterway. Everybody knows the rules, and except if they don't want to take it. So if it is another estate, right, we pull down some other buildings that were on the waterways, and we got solutions to the problem. But as for trademoore estate, we have to pull down every building, every structure there. So is that what they want us to do?
So this is a perennial challenge. I'm just wondering what the FCTA is planning, because it's been declared a danger zone and residents have been advised to relocate. Is this a situation where you're saying every resident and every landowner or landlord in that area has to forgo their property? What's the game plan here?
Well, I am into the rescue, and I'm always at the receiving end of it. And the best thing we could do is to declare that place a disaster zone, because we have asked the residents to leave the area, and they didn't do that. And the administration will not like to lose any one life in that in the FCT. So, and we have been celebrating. Last year there was no loss of life as a result of flooding, and this year with the prediction, we are afraid that more devastating flooding can occur. And if it happens in the night, how do we really go about it? And then many people will be devastated and they may lose their lives. So that is the reason why we are asking the FCT administration take the international best practice by declaring the place a disaster zone, and impliedly asking everybody to leave that area. And it is really a disaster zone. We must be frank with each other. We cannot cover up because some people want their own property. We value and cherish their lives more than their property. They don't know. So, and the administration is responsible for that, and they have to take that decision. And that is the best solution as of now.
Talk to us about the kind of intervention the FCT Emergency Management has provided for this latest flooding.
No, I think you can ask the residents if the FCT emergency, whether the FCT emergency management agency was there or not, and not only this even with the slightest rainfall, we are always with them. We identified with them. We are looking for solutions together, and I commend their effort, because the residents have also made their own effort before our coming. So we did, and we have been doing a lot to save their lives. And in most cases, is the way we intervened, the way we reacted, and the way we responded, and that's how we inform the administration, the FCT administration, so that other SDS will come and do something. And a lot of things need to be done in that area, because as I'm talking to you, since the area is sitting on the waterways, and then they refuse to agree that they don't have any title in that large estate. But the fact remains that they don't have any title to remain there, to even own up a house in that place. So whether they like it or not, that is the truth on record. And if they have any title, they can go and display. Apart from that, the chairman of the resident association took the administration to the court when we marked those areas for demolition. So all these things, they are just buying time for nothing, because as far as we are concerned, the value of each life is more critical and more important. We can go to the court and argue, but let's save the lives first.
Sounds like a very bitter pill to swallow, that some 2,000 houses now have to, occupants of those houses have to vacate that area, for their own safety. DG FCT Emergency Management Agency, Abbas Idris, thank you so much for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful.